It is game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. The Boston Celtics down 1-0 are back in Miami taking on the Heat. I got my favorite player, prop spread pick, and same game parlay coming your guys' way. Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Austin from Calling Our Shot. We also have several player prop lanes I really like today. Now, we do have an exciting new partnership on the way. Definitely stick around for that. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, let's talk about a short recap of yesterday's game 1 of the Mavericks versus Warriors. 1-0 day. Klay Thompson under 21.5 points. I'd say it was a no sweat bet as he had 0 points at halftime. Did end up getting 15, but as the blowout look incurred, we obviously cashed that bet out. Now our Orleans went 1-1. I think our same game parlay missed by one Luka rebound. Not much you can do about that. Now I do want to say a couple things. First off, thank you guys all for wishing my fiance a happy birthday. She loved seeing all the comments. And yesterday, if you watched our weekly live stream, normally at 6 p.m. Eastern time, it was at 6:30 yesterday. A little technical difficulties on my end. I gave up Trina's 2 picks of the day, and well, she went 2-0. Luka Doncic under 33.5 points and Draymond Green over 7.5 points. Maybe I'll have to start taking pick advice from her because she gave us 2 straight easy winners, and I don't know how she did it, but hey, we don't mess with the process. Either way, if you are new to the Calling Our Shot channel, I appreciate you for tuning into this video. If you want to hit that subscribe button, I certainly would do it. Go down below, hit that subscribe button. We would love to see that. Now, we have an exciting announcement. Let's get right into it. We've had a Discord before, but I think we got something much better. We're leveling it up, and we're going to Chalkboard. If you've never heard of Chalkboard, a great place that you can chat with your friends, kind of like a Discord, but also place your bets, or you can link your bets and kind of share exactly what you're betting on with the people. And look, we got a cool new Chalkboard set up. It's very similar to Discord, but it's an easy place to chat with people, discuss your favorite plays, and like I said, easy place to also see the scores of the game. You can't see that in Discord, but you can check the scores of the game while also interacting with the community. Look, if you want to do me a favor, go down below, click the first link in the description, sign up for Chalkboard, join the Call on a Shot board. You're going to get some cool exclusive perks in the coming days. It's 100% free to join. And look, I would really appreciate if you go down below and hit that first link in the description. 100% free. Like I said, some exclusive perks are coming to those Chalkboard users. We're going to be kind of switching away from Discord into the Chalkboard. It's really cool. Use it. First link in the description. I certainly would appreciate it. Go click it, go download it, and then come back to this video. Now, I do have to say my final note. Shout out to all our COS All-Stars out there. You guys, the real MVPs. We appreciate you guys always for supporting the channel. We've been helping you make some money. We certainly would appreciate you becoming an all-star. Click the join button on the channel or the link in the description. It only costs $2.99 a month, and we love all our all-stars out there. We have 2 new ones. We got Maurice, we got Corey. You guys, thank you for joining the COS All-Star community. We appreciate you guys as always. Now, let's waste no more time. Let's hop into my favorite player prop of this game. Going with the guy named Gabe Vincent. I'm taking his under 10.5 points, -120 on DraftKings. Now, last night we were looking at this line, and Kyle Lowry, wasn't necessarily in or out. Now we know officially Kyle Lowry is out today. Gabe Vincent back on the injury report with a hamstring injury. The Heat put a lot of players on the injury report, but surprisingly they only have 2 at the moment with Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. But Gabe Vincent is out there with a hamstring injury. Those are no joke. Now let's talk about game 1. Vincent, great game, 17 points, and he was 5 for 10. 3 for 7 for the 3-point line. It was really the Butler, Hero, and Vincent show. Those guys combined for what? Butler had 41, Hero had 18, and Vincent had 17. I mean, they combined for 76 of their 100 and something points, and really there was not a lot of offensive contribution from the other guys. And I expect Boston to make some adjustments and say, you know what, Jimmy Butler, we're not letting you drop 40 piece on our head again. And Gabe Vincent, you're not getting a bunch of points again. I just don't see them letting a role player like Gabe Vincent drop 10 points plus points against them again tonight. Now, we've seen this story with Vincent where he has one good game and then doesn't shoot or score well the next game. Defenses adjust. This is the NBA playoffs. In 12 playoff games so far this year, Vincent under 10.5 points in 8 of them. And I think this is a telltale sign that they only put the line at 10.5. If they thought it could duplicate that 17-point performance, they would have put the line at like 13.5, but they obviously still keep it at 10.5 in the postseason, gone under in 8 of 12 games. Also, we look at the 3 previous games in which he went over this 10.5 line. The following games, he scored 3, 9, and 7 points, failing to hit this over in back-to-back games all playoff long. Now, Kyle Lowry played a couple minutes, but still we've seen Gabe Vincent play as usual, 25, 30, 34 minutes-ish, which I expect him to get today. We also have to think about in Game 1, Marcus Smart, arguably the Celtics' best defender, the defensive player of the year, wasn't there. And I imagine Vincent might get guarded by Marcus Smart, not a guy like Peyton Pritchard or Derek White, both not as great defenders as Marcus Smart is. So I think Boston's going to kind of clamp up on Gabe Vincent. Maybe it's Marcus Smart that gets on him. I just don't see him scoring 10.5 points. I'm taking his under. Boston allowed the 4th fewest three-pointers made this year and the lowest three-point percentage in the NBA at 33.8%. Of the 9 shots that Vincent has made versus Boston this year, 5 of them have been three-pointers. He's going to get a lot of points from the three-point line. If you can't knock down some threes, he's not going to get this over. And also, he shot 4 free throws in game 1. I don't see him shooting 4 free throws again. I don't know how many times he shot 4 free throws in a game, but I guarantee you it's not too often. I don't see the Celtics letting a role player like Gabe Vincent drop another 10.5 point over on him. I think he goes under today. And I just think they make PJ Tucker beat him more than anyone. So I'm locking in Gabe Vincent under 10.5 points. I really like it. That's what we're riding with this player prop of the day. Now, if I had to give a game pick, I lean the Celtics plus the 4 and potentially on the money line. Now, I think the Heat, we at least pick the Heat in game 1. I like them at home. They're a very good team. I just think the Celtics are too good. I think they come back and bounce back here. They obviously were missing Marcus Smart. Still missing Al Horford, which you don't love. But they kept that game close. They were actually up in the first half by 8 at halftime. And then they kind of clamped up on Jason Tatum in the second half. More on him in a second. But I really do think the Celtics come back here and at least keep this game closer or potentially win it outright. I think you're getting pretty decent value. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a similar, kind of game or series to the Suns versus Mavericks when we saw, the Suns and Mavericks just alternate who won home road. So maybe the Heat go up 2-0. Then we see the Celtics bounce back, win both those 2 games. Either way, I think the Celtics plus 4. I like it today, and I think it's got a good chance of hitting. Now, let's talk about several player prop leans, which I actually really like. I like a lot of these, but you guys know I don't play more than one play in one game. It's the NBA playoffs. Last year, if you were a call and a shot fan, we appreciate you for being around in the community for so long. But there were so many games where in the playoffs, we were forced more than one play. Sometimes having 2, 3, 4. Our record went really bad, and we were not very good in the playoffs. We've been very good so far this year, so I'm going to keep the plays to a minimal. I'd rather leave money on the table than money out of my pockets. Let's talk about 2 guys. Tyler Hero over 4.5 assists, or 4.5 rebounds, over 2.5 assists as well. I liked his over in rebounds plus assists. Look, his rebounding split's insane versus this Celtics team. He's actually done very, very well. And he had 8 rebounds total in game 1, 11 or something rebound chances. Also, speaking of his assists, he has had 2.5 assists or more in a lot of games without Kyle Lowry. Lowry obviously out today. In game 1, he had 3 assists, but he had 10 potential assists. His adjusted assist line was 6. So I think that both these 2 are pretty good leans. I honestly was going to make it my official play. I don't like taking a lot of overs. I don't like really betting on Tyler Hero just because I normally don't feel like he has 2 good games in a row, but he should be able to grab some rebounds, get some assists. Like I said, he had a ton of assist and rebound chances in game 1. I think he duplicates that in game 2. Definitely something to look out for. Now, one of my other plays I really considered, Jason Tatum, under 28.5 points. Look, we took it in game 1. We were wrong. Wronged on the hook, but he scored 29 points, and I just looked like the Heat weren't ready for him in the first half. They were a little bit lazy, had a little bit more rest than the Celtics did, and they came in a little bit lazy. Tatum had 21 points in the first half, shooting very efficiently. Second half, they said, sorry, Sutter, you're not getting no points. And he only had, 8 points in the second half, majority of them, 5 or 6 of them coming from the I think 5 coming from the free throw line, and his 1 make was a 3-pointer. Look, I think they're going to really clamp up on him again today. I think Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and those guys are going to have to score the rock. I think Tatum under 28.5 points is a pretty good look. Was going to make it my official play again. I'll just stick away from it, but I might sprinkle on the side. You might see me kind of putting that in somewhere. And then Bam Adebayo, under 8.5 rebounds. Now, I don't trust Bam a whole lot. He's going to get more rebounds than he did in game 1, which was a big 4. But still, I just don't know. 8.5 rebounds, a pretty high line, going up against Robert Williams. There's so many things Bam Adebayo does on the defensive side of the floor for the Miami Heat that sometimes he's switching out onto guys like Tatum or Jaylen Brown or guards. That's what he does, and he's a great defender, but that takes you away from the paint, and that leads to other guys having to get rebounds like Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero. So I think Bam Adebayo under 8.5 rebounds, a pretty decent one. Might be the last time we get an 8.5 line. Maybe it goes down to 7.5, which is what we were seeing against Joel Embiid and the Sixers. I just think he does too many switches on defense, contests too many shots to be relied on to get 8.5, 9 rebounds to hit the over. Like the under for that one if you want to ride with it. Now, let's talk about my same game parlay. We cashed out in game 1. We're going back to it in game 2. We're taking the exact same parlay. And if you didn't tail in game 1, here it is. Butler, 20-plus points. Adebayo, 10-plus points. Max Strus, 2-plus threes. We had Tatum, 6-plus rebounds. And Smart, 4-plus assists. Now, obviously, Smart voided in that game, but the other 4 legs cashed. The hardest sweat was Adebayo, 10-plus points. He ended with 10 on the dot. But let's talk about each leg. 20-plus points for Butler, 9 of his last 10 versus Boston. The 1 missed due to injury. So, whatever. I think he can easily get that done. His line's up to 26.5. Now, Adebayo, 10-plus points. Hit it in 9 of his last 10 playoff games. Also hit it in 9 straight versus the Boston Celtics. Should be able to get us 10 points. He only shot 4 times in game 1. Look, he's going to shoot more than 4 times in game 2. I just would bet on that. Strus, 2 plus 3-pointers. His regular line's 2.5 and juiced on the over. He's had 4 and 9 threes versus the Celtics in the regular season. The Celtics did cut him, a little bit of added motivation. Had 3 threes in game 1. He's going to play better at home than he does on the road, so it's probably the last time you see Strus in the same game parlay, but I think he gets that done. Tatum, 6 plus rebounds, crushed it in the first game, 8 rebounds, but his last 5 versus the Heat, 8, 5, 12, 8, and 8. So don't mind his over 6.5 reps again, but he's hit this pretty easily, 6 plus rebounds. I think he gets it done, especially without Al Horford. He's going to rely on to get more rebounds. Then we have Smart, 4 plus assists. His last 2 versus the Heat, 7 and 8 assists. If he's necessarily him, his injury, we don't know necessarily how many full minutes he'll play, but maybe he's a little bit injured, not shooting a bunch, but still facilitating, getting the ball. Because if Tatum's having to do everything, go isolation on this Heat defense, it's not going to work out too well. So I think Smart runs a little bit more point guard today, kind of gets his guys some open shots. At 4 plus assists, not asking for a whole lot. I think he can get that done. He has 4 plus assists in 5 of his last 6 versus the Heat. So that's the same game parlay. My one official play of the day, we're going Gabe Vincent under 10.5 points as starting point guard for the Miami Heat. Let me know your favorite bets down below. Reminder, go download Chalkboard. I'll see you guys in the chat. I'll be discussing all your plays with you. So definitely go download it. We'd appreciate it. Just go do it. It's the first link in the description. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow for some more bets. Let's get after it. Check out our MLB video popping up on the screen. Let's get busy. Let's go have a great day. Another 1-0 day. We appreciate you for tuning in. It's been Austin. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.